Hello and welcome to another episode of Dream Home Cooking. Today I am sharing my double crusted homemade chicken pot pie recipe with you guys, as well as a delicious and beautiful spring salad with homemade poppy seed dressing. And then the best part is my Rolo chocolate cookies. They are an absolute treat and I'm excited to share these recipes with y'all. So I want to get started with the chicken pot pie. I have a tablespoon of olive oil and 5 tablespoons of butter in this pan or pot, and it's melting. So to that I'm going to add a half a cup of chopped onion and 1 rib of celery, just chopped small into little pieces, and I'm just going to saute this for about 7 or 8 minutes until they soften, and then I'll show y'all the next step. All right, so it's just took about 5 or 6 minutes just for these to soften up a bit in the butter, and then now I am going to do the thickening part of it, because this is pretty much homemade except for the crust. And then I got a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store deli. I cheated because it's so good and it's so easy. It just really makes your life easier to do that. So what I have here is a 1/3 cup of flour, and I like to use the flour in the canister. It's called Wondra. It just breaks down so much better. So I'm going to change to a whisk and just gradually add the flour. I have shared a one of my other chicken pot pie recipes with y'all. It's been several years. I did a show and it was individual semi-homemade chicken pot pies is what I call them. But I used cream of chicken soup and a lot of shortcuts. This is, making the sauce from scratch, and it's absolutely delicious. I made this for the first time last week and Mike loved it. I've never done the double crust in an iron skillet, and it really makes a difference. It makes that crust so flaky and crispy. So you want to just gradually add the flour until that butter soaks all of it up, and you don't want any lumps. And that's what I love about this flour, the Wondra flour, because it cuts down on you having big lumps in there. And you want your heat pretty low when you do this. All right, so I've almost got that incorporated. Now I'm going to gradually add the liquid, which is 2 cups of chicken broth and then a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Or you could use whole milk if you don't have heavy cream. So I'm just going to do this a little bit at a time, and you'll just see it begin to thicken. And this is the sauce part of it. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. And at this point, you don't want to leave it. Try not to answer the phone or the door or what have you, because you don't want to burn this flour and chicken broth. And you just stir constantly with your whisk. You can see it's really thick. But using the store-bought pie crust and the rotisserie chicken is a game changer. It makes your life a lot easier. I think I've made homemade pie crust twice in my life. Y'all can imagine the results. It wasn't very good, so I stick to the Pillsbury. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of it. It's nice and thick. And now I'm going to add the 1/4 cup of cream, and that just gives it a bit of a richness to it. I think this is one of the top Southern comfort meals that you can make. It is like a hug from grandma. Okay, so that is nice and thick, and now I'm going to add my seasonings. This is 2 teaspoons of the chicken granules. It's like a bouillon cube, just crushed up. That gives it a really nice flavor. I like to do that instead of poultry seasoning. Then I have my usual round, a teaspoon each of salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. And I'm probably going to come back and add more pepper because I love a lot of pepper in chicken pot pie. Okay, so that's the spices. So now I'm going to add the filling part of it. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to let this simmer for just a couple of minutes on real low, and then I'll add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so this just simmered for a couple of minutes. I've got it on real low. Now I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. So this is a half a cup of diced potatoes. I cheated on this. I used the can, but you can certainly do a nice, fresh potato diced and cooked. Then I've got a package of frozen peas and carrots, just straight from the freezer because it'll thaw out. And then the star of the show is 2.5 to 3 cups of cooked chicken. And like I said, this is a rotisserie chicken. I just pulled it off the bone. Easy peasy. And then at this point, after you put the chicken in there, you may want to go back and just taste it and see if it may need a little more salt or pepper or what have you, just to your liking. Okay, so I'll let this simmer for about 10 minutes, and then while it's doing that, I want to show y'all how I do the crust. So let me just get this stirred real well. Okay, so I'm letting this simmer a little bit. I've got my iron skillet here. I did spray it really well with cooking spray, and now I've got this pie crust, refrigerated pie crust. They come 2 to a pack. You want to use both of them. And what I like to do, well, first of all, you need to sit the pie crust on the counter for about 15 minutes and let them cool, or not cool off, but just sit at room temperature, because they're much easier to work with and they don't break. So what I'm going to do is put this at the bottom. I'm going to roll it out just a little bit. This will be the bottom crust, and I pre-bake it just a little bit because nobody wants a soggy chicken pot pie crust on the bottom. So you just lay it in there, and this is about a 12-inch iron skillet. 10 works fine. And then I like to take a fork and just poke the holes, okay? And then this keeps it from going, puffing up. Be real generous with that. Okay, so now I'm just going to pop this in a 350 oven for about 5 minutes, just until it just barely bakes. And then I'll show y'all the next step.
Since 1983, individuals and businesses in Alabama have relied on Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel, and South for their legal representation. Our experienced attorneys offer high-quality legal counsel in commercial law, real estate, and personal injury litigation. So if you need an attorney, hire the best attorney you can. Call the experienced North Alabama attorneys at Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel, and South to arrange your initial consultation, because we're dedicated to setting the standard for legal services.
Choosing an appliance can be complicated these days. That's why at Bob Wallace Appliance, we start by asking questions like an occasional cook or a serious chef, something just for you or an army, once a week or once a day. You see, it's not just what we know about appliances, it's what we know about you. Bob Wallace Appliance, locally owned and operated for more than 35 years. Online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
My father started this business in 1977. The people that work for us is part of what sets us apart. All of our employees have experience. All of our plumbers have been with us for 10 years or greater. Our motto at Dean & Son is quality and service. We're going to do quality work. We don't leave people hanging. We're there when we're supposed to be. We're done when we're supposed to be. Living up to what you sell and service them after they pay you, that's where your integrity in the plumbing business comes.
Dean & Son Plumbing Company. Call today at 518-9780.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? Is it a cool breeze on a scorching day? Or a cozy corner on a cold night? That every room of the house is as inviting as the next. And the air is fresh and clean for everyone. That humidity is where it belongs. At Carrier, comfort means more than just the temperature.
Hello, I'm Annette Hale of Annette Hale's Indoor Comfort Systems, the lady with a team you can trust. Visit us online at indoorcomforthsv.com.
Okay, we're back, and I've got this little crust out of the oven. It baked just for about 5 minutes, and that keeps it from being soggy. So now I'm going to take the top crust. I put a little flour down before I roll this out. Now, Mike the only thing he asked me to do differently on this one was to make the crust overlap. He loves for it to overlap over the skillet, so when you take it out, you've got these really crispy pieces you can just pull off. So I'm going to try to make that happen for him. We shall see. And I love making these in individual dishes as well, but it's harder to me to do the double crust in the little glass dishes. I've never tried it. I guess I should. So I'm just going to roll this out. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit there for a second. Now I'm ready to pour my mixture into the skillet. And I tasted it. It tastes delicious. I needed to add just a tad more salt. All right, you just pour it in there. I want to make sure I get all that goodness out of there. Okay, now I'm just going to spread it to where it covers that bottom crust. This is so good. Y'all have to give me your feedback and let me know what you think when you make it. And the double crust definitely makes it more filling. Okay, so now I'm ready to put this crust on the top. Okay, well, he'll get a little bit of overlap. Okay, and then I just take a fork, nothing fancy here. I never did learn how to pinch the pie ends or corners or whatever you call it. Then the really important part is to take a fork and just give it some nice air vents. This is really important to do. It's got to breathe. So you just go all over. Okay, and then we're going to do just a little score. Go that way. And then after it bakes, it's kind of pretty because you can sort of get a little glimpse of what's under there. Okay, and then another important part is the egg wash. This is 1 egg white. Don't put the yolk in there. Just 1 egg white with about a teaspoon of water. And just get you a little brush. And you want to generously brush the egg wash on the top of the crust because this is what makes it that beautiful golden brown and crispy. So you definitely don't want to forget that. So y'all see how simple this is, and you could make this for company, family, anybody, and they will feel very special and loved. Okay, let me go. I think I covered everything. All right, so then that goes into a 350 oven for 40 to 45 minutes. You want to watch it towards the end. So I'm going to get this cleaned up, put that in the oven, and I want to show y'all how I make my homemade poppy seed dressing. Okay, so I've got things cleaned up. I've got the chicken pot pie in the oven, and now I want to show y'all how I make this homemade poppy seed dressing. So this is a 1/4 cup of sugar, and I like to use these little mason jars because it's just super simple to just shake it up. So to that sugar, I'm going to add, this is a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, and I'm just going to stir this with a fork before I shake it. Whoa, I'm going to be cutting it close on my room. I always do that. Then I have a 1/4 cup of vinegar that I'm going to add into this. This is so simple to make. I've gotten to where I very rarely buy store-bought dressings anymore. Boy, that is just going to make it in there. Because it's so easy to make homemade dressings, they taste so much better. They don't last as long. This will last about a week in the fridge, but it's so much better for you, and I think it tastes a lot better. All right, so that's the sugar, the oil, and the vinegar. And then I have a 1/2 teaspoon of ground mustard and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then, of course, the star of the show, the poppy seeds. And that's 2 teaspoons of poppy seeds, and you can add more if you want. And then I like to make this a little bit creamier, so I'll add about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of mayo to this. I'm going to see if I can fit this in here. I'm just going to eyeball this. All right. So there you have a creamy poppy seed dressing. And it's still kind of separated, but once I give it a good shake, it'll be ready to go. And it's always better to put it in the fridge. Overnight is best, but if you can, have it in there a couple hours, that's good. Okay, so then I'm just going to take the lid, pop it on there. Whoa, oh boy, I don't want to make a mess. All right, and then just give it a little shake, and then we're going to put it in the fridge. And that is the homemade poppy seed dressing. So I'm going to get this cleaned up, and when we come back, I'm going to show y'all how I make these delicious Rolo chocolate cookies.
When you select Wolde Flooring's hardwood, you don't just enhance your home, you transform it. With hundreds of beautiful, durable, hand-selected varieties that come with up to a 50-year warranty, you can count on unsurpassed beauty and proven durability that's guaranteed to stand the test of time. When you want the best flooring for your home, come to Wolde Flooring in Madison. WoldeFlooring.com, 256-325-8453.
Years ago, we researched different cabinet companies. Wellborn was the cabinet company that we decided to go with. Wellborn has a lot of your custom style building like we did in the local cabinet shops years ago. You just can't go wrong with a product like that with Wellborn. On top of that, Wellborn has researchers that are out in the market every day. Their job is to see what's current in the market, what's selling, and what their dealers need to be showing in their showroom. So come out, let me help you design your kitchen with Wellborn products.
Hey guys, come on in. Hey Troy. Yeah, let me show you around.
Wow,
You know, as the Acme Brick spokesperson, I get paid in brick. All the brick I want. Solid. What? Too much? To get Acme Brick quality, look for the Acme name. And here's the guest room. Hope you like a firm mattress.
Okay, we're back and I've got everything laid out to do these cookies. These are my Rolo chocolate cookies. I make them once a year at Christmas time, every single year for probably 20 years. They are one of the most delicious cookies you will ever eat in your life, I promise. So you definitely want to try this. And it's not that they're hard. If I can do it, anybody can do it. But there are steps to this. So what you want to start with is 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. That's what's in this bowl. Then I have 3/4 cups of unsweetened cocoa powder. And then this is a teaspoon of baking soda. All right, and then I'm just gonna kind of take a fork and just stir these 3 things together. And this is one of the few times I pull this bad boy out is when I'm baking, because this is a dough that's real stiff. So you're gonna have to put quite a lot of elbow grease in with a hand mixer, and you might burn it up. So I would recommend one of these, unless you have a real high-powered hand mixer. Okay, so in here are 2 sticks of real butter, or a cup of butter, and then I'm just gonna whip that just for about a minute, or maybe a half a minute. All right. Oh, wrong way. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a cup of white sugar. And these are also beautiful cookies. Once they're finished, they've got a white chocolate drizzle on top of them, and they are perfect for a holiday cookie. And they freeze beautifully. So I'll make batches and batches in early December, freeze them, and then give them out in pretty little tins. Okay, now I'm gonna add a cup of brown sugar to that. And I'm just gonna let that go a minute till it incorporates. And I like to take a spatula or a fork and just kind of push down the sides so that everything gets mixed well. All right, I'll let that go a little bit more. And then I'm getting ready to add 2 eggs to that mixture. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. And don't be alarmed, because like I said, the dough, it is a really thick mixture, but that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. And then these, there is a little bit of work involved. These are those little chocolate Rolo cookies that have, Rolo candies that have been around forever. There's caramel in the center and a chocolate outside. So this is what is in the middle of the cookie. So when you bite into the cookie, you got this stream of caramel that is out of this world. And you have to unwrap each one. So used to, they made them where you could buy them in a family size, and they were unwrapped, but they were a lot smaller. So I had to use 2 per, so it just works out better to just do the original Rolo. So now I'm gonna start gradually adding the flour and sugar mixture to that. And it's nice when you have a stand-up mixer like this, because you don't have to stand here and just mix and mix and mix. Okay, I'm gonna add some more. You just don't want to dump it all in there at one time, because it'll just be a big glob. So that's why I'm doing it just in phases. Okay. Okay, you can tell when it's on it's almost there, because it's working trying to get this mixed up. Okay, that's getting nice and mixed. Now the last thing I'm going to do is add a half a cup of chopped pecans, and you can certainly leave those out, but we love them in there. Gives it a nice little crunch. Okay, and one last thing I almost forgot, very important, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Just want to pour that down in there. All right, I think that's ready to go. And you also want to have a little bowl. I've got a little bowl of flour right here, just to flour your hands, because this dough is sticky. So I just wash my hands thoroughly, take my rings off, and then roll up the Rolos. Okay, I had to regroup a little bit, move some things out of the way, so I got room to work. So I've got the cookie batter, it's ready. I've got my little scooper, so they're all even and they bake evenly. So what you want to do is take a scoop of the cookie batter. Now, I tell you, I am going to go ahead and put a little flour on my hands just for good measure because I don't want it to stick. So then you take a Rolo, you place the cookie dough over that, and then you just roll it to make sure that you're covering the entire candy. Otherwise, it'll, get caramel on the baking sheet. And then important. This is 4 tablespoons of chopped pecans and a tablespoon of sugar. And you just want to do like that and dip it in there. And then just place it on a parchment-lined baking sheet. So I'm going to get all these rolled up, and then I'll show y'all the next step. But while I'm finishing up rolling these out, I wanted to tell y'all the community of the week is Wynwood off of Winchester Road out in the New Market area. And it is a beautiful piece of property. There's a gorgeous model that is almost done, and it'll be fully decorated. Lots of great lots out there. Such a great area. The school systems are excellent. People move out there because of the school systems. In fact, one of my sweet nieces is graduating from Buckhorn next year in May, and she has absolutely loved it there. There's great little restaurants, coffee shops, a Publix, just all kinds of great convenient things, and it's not far from downtown Huntsville at all. So I just encourage y'all to go out to New Market and take a look. They're open 7 days a week. And when Mike is here, he will tell you many, many more details about Wynwood. But I am going to finish rolling these up, and then I bake them for 10 minutes. And then when I take them out of the oven, they cool a little bit. And then I put a white chocolate drizzle over them. And that's what just really completes the cookie. All right, so the cookies are out of the oven. They baked at 350 for exactly 10 minutes. Then this is the last part that makes them so pretty. This is that almond bark that you get on the baking aisle. And I'd use the microwave and do like 30-second increments until it's melted. It usually takes about 3 times. So a little over a minute to get it melted. And then I like to take a spoon, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. I just start and just drizzle. And it just makes like an abstract, pretty drizzle on the cookie. And then this takes about 10 or 15 minutes for it to harden on top of the cookie. All right, so I'm going to finish drizzling these. I've got to melt some more almond bark. And then when we come back, Mike will be here to taste these delicious recipes.
Hey guys, I wanted to let y'all know about a year ago, me and Bruce Stone started a new company called Stonewood Homes. And Stonewood is a little different business plan than Woodland Homes because Stonewood is a scattered lot home builder, which means if you have a lot and you're looking for a builder, Stonewood is the answer. So if you own a home site or you're looking at building a custom home, give us a call at 830-9000 and let's start building.
Okay, we're back, and I've got Mike in the kitchen with me, and so...
Chicken pot pie day.
Yes, and I told the viewers I tried to overlap it for you. You got a little bit of overlapping. This one came out a mean face. I don't know what happened.
But it looks good.
But it'll be good. And then I've got my spring salad. It has those candied pecans you like on it.
Love
and,
it.
Homemade poppy seed, and then you know what that is.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it.
That's your all-time
I can't believe you're giving that recipe away.
Well, I'm being generous. That's one I've hoarded for many years.
Yeah, that's one of your favorites.
Actually,
there.
I think I shared it on a show about 10 years ago. So
Did
I thought
you?
I'm going to bring it back because it's close to the holidays and such
Rolo
a great.
cookies. Can't go wrong with
Sadler, our
those.
producer, ate one and he goes, "Oh wow!" So
Yeah, they're great.
They're good. But yeah, and so the community of the week is Wynwood, and that is such a gorgeous area out there. Such a great area too in New Market.
Yeah, I'm out there a couple of times a week, and it's just watching another great woodland home community grow like a weed.
Yes, and is the model close to being done?
We're in trim stage right now.
Okay, so
it'll be done right after the first of the
yeah,
year.
it's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see it. And it's such a great area. I told the viewers our niece is graduating from Buckhorn in May, and she has loved going to school there. It's just a bunch of great kids and faculty and.
It is. We went out there a couple of years ago with a community of Phillips Ridge.
Yes.
And we've got just a couple more homes to build in there. But it's just such a great area out there. And it's growing. I mean, they're 5 lane in Winchester Road. They've already done a big segment of that. So transportation, getting in and out is getting a lot better. It's not that it was that bad, but with the growth of the new road system, what you're also getting now is you're now getting a lot of commercial activity out there. So you've got shopping nearby. You've got several restaurants that have moved in out there.
The Publix is out there.
The Publix is out there. Car washes are out there. So, I mean, rooftops pulls in the commercial.
That's right.
So now that's what you're seeing out there. And it's just right down the road. So one of the things that's unique about Wynwood is, and I may have mentioned this before, but we hired a different engineer. Okay, so when you go in, it just kind of meanders all the way back, and it's lots of curves, and so it's a little different layout than what we've done in the past. We probably have 20-25 homes under construction. We do have about 8 or 10 homes that are under construction that are inventory. They're not available for sale right now. And always check our website, because we probably have over 50 to 60 homes that are available for sale that we have under construction. And the best thing to do is to be able to log on to woodlandhomes.com, hit that available homes page button, let us know what you're interested in, and we can put you on a preferred list, so that our customers today can have an opportunity to buy a home when it first hits the market, instead of buying a home that's in a bidding war.
Right.
And that's what we want to do. We want to know what you're interested in, so that we can put you on a priority list, so that you're going to be one of the first to know when we do have a home that's available. So that's available through woodlandhomes.com. And I guess let's wrap it up. I'm hungry.
Yes, so recipes on woodlandhomes.com, as well as Dream Home Cooking page. Also, I did not tell, this is spring mix, lettuce spring mix, and you just put mandarin oranges, sliced strawberries, and some of those candied pecans that you home make or buy them at the store. And it's great with the poppy seed dressing. I forgot to tell them that. But as always, a huge shout out and thank you to our sponsors.
Absolutely.
For making this show possible. And I am starving too.
Yeah. So
let's
if y'all are interested in a new home, or know of anybody interested, woodlandhomes.com, or give us a call at 830-9000. So y'all come and see us.